It's the weekly show about Pro AV with the hottest news in the AV industry. It's rAVe TV. Give it up for Steph and Gary. Steph and Gary.
Hello.
Hello, Gary. How's it going?
Good. How are you feeling?
You know, I'm alive, and that sometimes is all that you can do. Like, as you can see, I'm home today. I texted you this morning because I had a migraine, so I am working from the house. But, you know, we're making rAVe TV happen no matter what. I see that you are also somewhere new.
I am. I am actually in St. George, Utah, which you would think when you think Utah, you think skiing, but St. George is more like sort of like a Las Vegas topography. It's very flat. This is more closer to Nevada and Arizona than it is Salt Lake City. For example, it's only 2 hours outside of Las Vegas.
Oh, cool.
But she's here swimming her conference championship. She swims for Pepperdine University, and her conference championship is starts today through Saturday night. And it's exciting. I'm ready. Look at this. I got my Pepperdine hat. Aren't those
very
great
cool.
colors? Those are cool colors.
Yes.
Yeah. And so I got my Pepperdine hat. And actually, as soon as I leave this broadcast, I'm going to see her for the first time in a few weeks. And I'm excited to watch her swim. She starts tonight with the 1,000. So she swims the 1,000 yards tonight, and she's in finals. So she's one of the top 8.
Oh, that's awesome. I know she's excited, and I know you're very proud.
I am. It's going to be a bittersweet kind of week, right? Because, she's finishing her college career in swimming this week. Literally, she's been swimming for 16 years, and I've been part of swimming for 21 years because my older daughter also swam and then swam in college as well. So this will be like the ending of my swim dad career.
It is. It's the end of an era for sure.
It definitely is. So yeah, I'm in my hotel room in St. George, Utah, in a really cool, Marriott, and so I'm heading over to the pool as soon as I finish this.
That's exciting. That's awesome.
And I'm glad that you made it to the broadcast. I'm glad that your migraine isn't too debilitating, but I know migraines are terrible.
Yeah, it's tough, but sometimes you just got to push through. Speaking of, just news that we have going on, I wanted to remind everyone that Launch Week 5 is coming to you very, very soon. It's going to be March 1st through 3rd. It is going to be just another really exciting event for us. It's going to be 3 days. There's going to be a Pro AV day, a UCC day, and a digital signage day. We would obviously love for you to come to all 3. It's going to be full of new product releases from companies who are hoping to release them at trade shows, but now are releasing them with us, which we're very grateful for. It's going to have a lot of really great thought leaders. It's going to have some great panels. It's going to have demos, some innovations for AV integrators. It's really going to have everything. So I'm looking very forward to it. Yeah,
and I just had a call with Epson, and they're using Launch Week 5 to launch a whole new line of projectors that no one knows about yet. And
that's awesome.
We have a bunch of brands. Samsung is going to use Launch Week 5 to launch some new stuff. So there's Sony is going to as well. So we got some surprises for you. Yeah, that's awesome. I'm excited for it. I am hosting it with Megan Dutta. It's going to be great. I'm really looking forward to it. Yeah, and this, by the way, is rAVe TV, comes to you weekly at noon on Wednesdays. And if you're watching us on LinkedIn, we just posted a link for you to register for Launch Week 5. If you're not on LinkedIn or Twitter or Facebook or Instagram, to register, you just go to launch.com, LAVNCH.com. And Mark Coxon's article or blog this week generated a little bit of controversy, Steph.
Yes, it did, but not too bad. I mean, like, it's one of those things where everyone has an opinion about collaboration, and it's who's to say anyone's opinion is wrong. It's just everyone had collaboration is something that's very polarizing. So basically what Mark says is that he thinks meetings are up, but just because meetings are happening now, no matter where you are, it doesn't mean that collaboration is happening no matter where you are. And he just kind of wanted to talk about how the collaboration technology that comes out needs to be focused on people and how people collaborate instead of focusing and being made for different types of hardware.
Yeah. And that's, it's interesting. We have the hardware and software to make it all happen, but we have kind of like gone into Zoom land and Teams land and not gone much further than that. And in fact, our sponsor message from Legrand this week is about meeting equity. And meeting equity is a term. If you haven't heard that term, it's a term you're going to hear a lot about over the year 2022. If you don't even know what it is, as we come out of this, I'm going to show you the complexity of meeting equity and why it's important to sort of meeting equity. So let's run this this piece from Legrand first.
Meeting equity. What is it? Most simply, it ensures that in-person and remote participants have the same meeting experience. So how do we evolve our collaboration spaces to support meeting equity in hybrid environments? Meet the new Forum Collaboration Suite from Middle Atlantic. This suite of products was designed to solve the challenges of meeting equity brought on by both open and closed hybrid collaboration environments. This is what hybrid looks like. Forum features 2 display stand options, a freestanding or floor-to-wall mounted system in either a light or dark design. Each display stand and included shroud are wrapped in acoustic felt to maximize sound absorption for crystal clear audio when you are collaborating over video. Now, you can't collaborate without somewhere to sit or stand. The Forum tables are the perfect companion to the Forum display stand. Just choose the light or dark design to match. The 3 or 5 person angle shaped table is great for collaboration when most participants are in person. And the 3-person arc-shaped table is designed for collaboration when remote participants are the majority. You can also easily connect multiple arc tables together for larger groups. Now that's how you provide meeting equity with the Forum Collaboration Suite. Learn more about how Forum can help you create collaboration spaces for today and the future. Visit legrandav.com/forum.
So the Forum product line is really cool. I got a chance to see it when I was there live and did the tour of their traveling roadshow bus that they have. And it's great because it allows you to put together sort of like ad hoc meeting spaces anywhere, but also they have a full line of products, as you can see, furniture even included to put together meeting rooms. But I think that ad hoc meeting spaces, or what we used to call huddle spaces, are going to be a big deal as we go back to the office. The issue is meeting equity is how do you make, Steph, here's the way I look at it. When we were all working from home, we were all equal because we all had the same size box on Zoom or Teams. When we go back to the office, the people that are in the office are in the meeting room are obviously going to feel more important or going to be treated more differently, like at a higher level, because they're all meeting in person. That person that comes in remotely, that one person that comes in remotely, will be like the stepchild of the meeting, is what I've been saying. So to get meeting equity, like we've had for the last 2 years, coming out of the pandemic, we need to design rooms like this. So you could see displays all over the room, displays even on the side walls. And you see that the person who's coming into that meeting is on that side wall, or the back wall in that case, display. And she is coming in full size head, meaning her head is the same size as everyone else in the room, not like a little teeny square. So that gives the people in the room kind of spatial and visual awareness that she's there. Because when you have, like before the pandemic, when somebody come in remotely, you'd forget they were even in the meeting. And then the only time you heard them was like they would all of a sudden speak up from a speakerphone, and you'd be like, oh yeah, that's right. Ted is here.
I'd be like, oh, right, you're here too. Thanks.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I think this is going to be something we're going to talk more about. I'm going to actually do a webinar specifically on meeting equity in March. We'll send out more details on that. We'll cover it in a future episode of rAVe TV.
It'd be fun to try and create a truly equitable space in our own office.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's something that I think we could use as a demo space, right? To show people how to build a space. But I'm also working with some integrators on helping them do that, like AVI Systems, and helping them actually, build, accomplish this meeting equity by adding display. I think the key is putting displays all over a room. I'm also working with Logitech on something. I'm working with Zoom. So I think there's some things coming out that I think that will help that. But the truth of the matter is, mics are still a critical part of a room. And Yamaha came out with a new series of mics this week. I don't know if you had a chance to look at those.
Ceiling tile mics. So I think these are kind of very trendy right now. I can't think of a like audio manufacturer who does not have a ceiling tile mic right now. Like those are very, very, I feel like just because they're pretty, it's like they can work in different types of rooms, like, so I think that more and more manufacturers are going to make them.
Yeah. And I think what's happening is that we're now realizing we can't just put mics on the table. We need them all around the room. It
doesn't work. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So you're right. And, new brands are coming in to the market. You're correct. New audio companies that, Leon Speakers is a good example of that coming into the market from the consumer side. So, we're going to see more of that. But the meeting rooms still need video as well. And a lot of display technology out there, a lot of collaboration board technology out there. We talked last week about Kramer's acquisition of UC Workspace. And of course you have rAVe and you have Avacor, and you got all these other companies making cameras and displays, but also projectors are being used in meeting spaces. And Barco came out with like I don't want to say low end, but entry level G series, the G60 and 62 are literally entry level laser projectors. So Barco's kind of going back after that market that right now is kind of owned by NEC, Epson, and Sony. Those three companies own that market.
Right. So yeah, I guess that was kind of my point, that it's interesting to look at all the companies that are kind of venturing into new things, going after other ones, it seems like they're trying to kind of make things up in the pandemic and see what sticks.
Yeah, you're right. And I think that, if they stick with their expertise, I think that they'll come out on the winning side. I mean, these companies are now, what's great about the pandemic, let's think about this logically. It happened to us too. What's great about the pandemic, even though we didn't like it, is that we all were forced to use the technology we've been talking about. So now we see all the problems in it. Now they're going back and fixing it because they actually had to use it as opposed to just designing it, for a couple of integrators who asked for it or a couple of customers. Now they're using it too. And they're saying, oh, that's what they meant by it's hard to install. Because they had a hard time installing it themselves.
It just kind of leads back to the whole, please listen to end users type argument for integrators and manufacturers. Like end users are the people who are going to realize the problem quicker than anyone else. So please, I don't understand why end users are not kind of creating what should be on the market. You know what I mean?
Some manufacturers have end user committees, advisory boards. But I think a lot of companies got away from that as the market grew really rapidly and just didn't have time to deal with it. But I think now they're realizing that feedback is invaluable. I'm on a number of advisory boards with companies because I teach and use the equipment, right? So I'm so they're like, hey, as a teacher, what do you think about how easy this stuff is? Because, I love technology, but I've been very frustrated with a lot of it that we've put in.
And I think because a lot of it is difficult to use. You know how to use it because you've worked with this stuff, most of your life. But a regular, Joe Schmo teacher is going to have a really hard time using a lot of the technology that's on the market right now, especially in a K through 12 environment. Those teachers are not trained to use that equipment half of the time. My classic example was having a teacher who tried to write on our smart board with a Sharpie.
Yeah.
So because they don't
I've actually done that though. I've actually done that too. I've done that. But hey, here's a very specific example for those manufacturers that are listening. Very specific example of how problematic it is if you're not paying attention to the customer. So for example, we have a room at UNC, and I won't mention which company it uses, but it uses a very popular collaboration system that is software-based, right? It's hardware and software-based. Apple did an iOS update. So all semester it's worked fine. Apple does an iOS update. All of a sudden, I come in to teach in it on Tuesday. It doesn't work anymore and we're waiting for the manufacturer to do an update.
Come out with an update to coincide with the Apple update.
Right. So in my case, I know what's going on. But imagine that chemistry professor who's not technical coming in and all of a sudden it's not working anymore. He or she doesn't know why. They're like, this worked before. Like, what am I doing wrong, right?
Right.
But we're waiting for an update from Apple, right? This company, this collaboration company is waiting for it. So now you see what it's like from a customer standpoint, because those updates are critical and they don't come instantaneously. So Apple does an update, and then there's 2 weeks later the update's going to come. So now that collaboration gear and that whole collaboration system is completely unusable until that update happens.
For sure. Yep. It's a classic example.
Yep.
But an example, but speaking of something that is for sure, we have a case study that we are sharing from our other sponsor and partner. Yeah, thank you, Madeline, for that one. She fed that one right in my earpiece here. But so there is this case study where Shure came in and helped in this Luxembourg municipal authority space, where they came in with the Microflex to kind of help fix the conference room in there, because it's like a very odd room where like a lot of times like desks will be in different configurations. It's never really a set space. So what Shure came in and completed with the Microflex was something that could also be edited and reconfigured with the different types of configurations of people in there to help with meetings, so that everyone can be heard, but mostly heard. Because as you know, the important thing in a meeting is not being seen, it's being heard. So
you got to be able to be heard. You can always have a meeting without video, but you can't always have a meeting without audio.
You can never have a meeting without audio.
That's right.
Just having someone wave at you is not going to do much.
And Luxembourg is Luxembourg is one of the smallest countries in Europe, between the Netherlands and France, and it's one of the most beautiful. And one of my favorite products comes from there, Steph. So I'm glad you did this case study. Nutella.
Yeah. Oh
Nutella.
Yeah.
If you like Nutella, they're from Luxembourg.
If you like Shure and you like Nutella, then that's the place for you.
Hey, speaking of InfoComm 2021, how's that?
Yeah, speaking of, because we were totally just speaking about that. So Michael Katz has kind of just been very like nostalgic about trade shows lately. So he's been working on a series about InfoComm 2021. I've talked about the first part in the series, but this is the second part. And he just talks about the power of relationships, because he, to this day, says that InfoComm 2021 was like one of his most successful trade shows. And he talks about because how he used the power of networking and how he used all of his contacts to leverage new contacts. And he kind of like puts all of the new people he met. So he has met like over like 70 people.
Yeah. And I think with the show being so small, right, or intimate, I guess a better word is intimate, because I liked it, that you had a chance to meet people that you wouldn't normally have a chance to talk to, right? Spend extra time with them and stuff. And he makes a good point there. I mean, the truth of the matter is there were some benefits of it being small, but we're all ready to get back to big size shows. I'm excited about ISE being in May and InfoComm being in June, even though they're close together. I'm definitely excited about being back. So, but anyway, we got another case study. We got one last case study for the day.
So it is from Exertis, and it is just, I don't know if you remember at the beginning of the pandemic, Gary, when I did like an AV Good article, just to kind of talk about different companies that were doing different good things in the community. So Exertis is kind of doing this. They've started like this donation program to this children's center in Germany. So it's nice. It was part of their Christmas campaign last year, and they are kind of creating a like more lengthy donation process for this children's center. And they, people from their company visited and they handed over a check. So it is really nice to see a company do more even than just hand over a check. So, because I think that's great. And like, money does talk, but like also to see a company spend time like making a community better. I think that's important.
Yep.
And that was a good thing to end on.
Yeah, we can always use some more AV Good. And as you know, we encourage everyone to take half a day off on Friday. And that was started by Sarah, who did a lot of volunteering herself with
and like animal shelters, right? Yeah.
Animal shelters, but also she ended up becoming the president of, I think she stepped down now. I think her term is over, but she was the president of the of Rotary.
The Rotary Club. Yeah.
And they do a whole bunch of good. So we encourage everyone to be part of that. And I know at InfoComm, we started the 5K for InfoComm, which is a fundraiser for local charities. We were the first ones that had that idea like 5 years ago. But it's a good piece to end on, Steph. I hope that the head feels better. I know you wished my daughter good luck on swimming. I've got my goggles ready
Absolutely.
so that I can imitate her. I got my hat.
Perfect.
I'm ready to go. And hey,
not embarrassing at all.
Nah, I'm full on swim dad. I am full.
Yeah, I'm sure she'll love that as like your last hurrah. Well, yeah, tell her I wish her luck, and I hope you have fun in Utah getting to see her swim for the last time.
Thank you very much. And thanks everyone for joining us for this episode of rAVe TV. I don't know what number we're on, but somewhere in the 40s. And 44, is that Madeline's throwing fingers at me. I think she said 44. That's pretty awesome. Steph, I love doing this. We got to do something for our 1 year anniversary. We got a little surprise coming up for you there. We'll talk about that in a future episode.
We've been thinking about it, talking about it. It's going to be a mess, and I'm excited.
All right. Well, y'all have a great day, everyone, and thanks for joining us. Bye.
Bye.
It's the weekly show about Pro AV with the hottest news in the AV industry. It's rAVe TV. Give it up for Steph and Gary. Steph and Gary.